So you're looking for the best camera to help you create content this year. If that's you, then you are in luck, because in this video, I'm gonna be sharing my top 5 favorite cameras that are gonna help you create awesome content this year. And then at the very end, I'm gonna share my ultimate recommendation, the one that I would choose if I was to buy a new camera today. Let's jump in. Camera number 5 is going to be your smartphone. I know that may be a little bit of a surprise, but in many cases, the best camera is the one that you have available to you. Let's not be mistaken. Some of the video quality on some of these newer smartphones are absolutely incredible. The results from the newer iPhones and Samsung Galaxy phones and the Google Pixel phones can take really high quality video as well as still images, and you can use the camera inside of that smartphone because one, it's always going to be convenient and you have it with you, and you're going to get high quality results, and you can back that up with good audio and also good lighting. I encourage you not to get so caught up with needing to have a new camera in order to get started. If you have one of these smartphones, I would highly recommend you just get started with that. Then you can work your way up to one of the next cameras on the list. Camera number 4 is going to be the Canon R50. Now the Canon R50 is actually very newly announced, depending on when you're watching this video. Spring of 2023, Canon announced the successor to the very popular Canon M50. It's one of the most reasonable priced cameras that you can get that's going to have high quality 4K video recording. It's going to have that flip out screen. It's also going to have really good autofocus, so you don't have to worry about whether or not you, the subject, is in focus, or you don't have to manually focus it. One of the main features that a lot of the cameras on this list have is that with just one cable, you can plug it into your computer and use it as a webcam for Zoom meetings, for online live streams, for content creation where you're using a platform online. This is really helpful just to take your video quality and your presentations and your content to the next level. One of the main gripes that they have fixed with the Canon R50 is the record limit of 30 minutes. This was seen on the Canon M50 and some of the lower budgeted Canon models in years past. But with the Canon R50, they have removed that limit. So if you're shooting really long form content, or if you're shooting podcast or interviews, you're not gonna have to worry about that 30-minute record limit, and you can just continue to shoot, making sure that you capture every single second of your content. As far as the price of the Canon R50, it comes in at $799. Again, this is a brand new camera. If you get it with the kit lens, it's gonna come with an 18 to 45 millimeter lens. That's also included in that $799 price. I would recommend the Canon R50 for anyone who's looking to make that first jump from maybe a smartphone to an entry-level camera. It's super small and compact as well, so if you like to travel or if you want to bring this camera on the go, it's not going to be a problem. And even for those beginners who are learning how to shoot and learning all the settings that you can change with the camera, the Canon interface in their menu system is usually very easy to learn, very easy to use. A few hours of getting used to it, you can be shooting, making high quality videos for months and years to come. Camera number 3 on the list is the SONY ZV-E10. Now this camera came out at the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, and when it did, everybody was looking to get this camera. They were flying off of the shelves, and for a long period of time, you couldn't even get your hands on one of these cameras, and it is for a reason. The Sony ZV-E10 is one of the best hybrid cameras that you can pick up. It shoots really high quality video, allows you to shoot 4K up to 30 frames per second, and 120 frames per second in HD. And for those who may not know, that allows you to get that super smooth slow-mo video that you see people create. It also has a flip out screen so that you can kind of monitor and see yourself when you're filming. It's also super small and compact. It has a really easy to learn menu system interface, one plug cable so you can plug it into your computer and start streaming. One of the key highlights of the Sony lineup of cameras is their autofocus tracking. And so what they can do is actually focus on your eye. So making sure that every single picture that you take and that every frame of your video is all in focus by just tracking your eye. Who is this camera for? I would say that this camera can serve the majority of people who are out there making content, again, stepping up from their smartphone video quality, but someone who wants to really take their stuff to the next level, get that pro look without the pro price. This camera comes in at, I believe, $799. Again, same price as the Canon R50, so these two cameras are competing, but with that you get a kit lens to go with it. So as soon as you take it out of the box, it's ready to go and you can start creating content. Moving on to camera number 2 is the Canon R8. Again, this is another newly announced Canon camera, and this one is very, very interesting when you think about the landscape of cameras in 2023 and beyond. So the Canon R8 is a full frame camera. It has a full frame sensor. Now, a full frame sensor comes from the 35mm film cameras that people would shoot on back in the day. Generally speaking, the larger the sensor, the better the image quality. It also helps in low light, and when it comes to having that blurry background, a larger sensor has a shallower depth of field, so your subject will be in focus and more of the background will be blurry. Usually full frame cameras cost a lot more, but the Canon R8 is very competitively priced at $1499 for the body. And if you get it with a kit lens, it comes with a 24 to 50mm lens, and if you pick that up, the price is going to be about $1,700. To get into a full frame camera package at $1,700, that is a really good price. And Canon has packed some of the same great features that it has in some of its higher level cameras like the Canon R6, the Canon R5 when it comes to its autofocus, uncropped 4K video recording up to 60 frames per second. That's going to be a very interesting camera once it rolls out. Depending on when you're watching this video, it may already be rolled out, and I'm sure this camera is going to sell really well. So who is this camera for? I would say that this camera is for anybody who is looking to really have that pro look for some of their content creation. I would think that if you're looking to start a podcast and you want to have a really high quality video version of the podcast, I would take a look at this camera. This camera can also serve really well for those looking to create online courses or have any type of online video content, and it's really important for you to have high production value. This full frame camera is really going to allow you to set yourself apart and make all of your stuff look really good, of course paired with good audio and good lighting. And at the price of $1,700 for a full frame camera, I'm gonna say you're gonna be really impressed by the video quality of this camera. And I would also add that it's gonna be really good with stills. Again, because of that full frame camera, you get that nice buttery smooth background. Subject is in focus. This is gonna be a workhorse for a lot of people. And camera number 1 on the list is the Sony a7 IV. I have personally crowned this camera as the king, the hybrid king for video and for photography. Now I know there's more expensive cameras that can have better capabilities in both the photo and video aspects. However, at this price point, there's no other camera, in my opinion, that is doing it this well. I am a big fan of the Sony cameras just because they've proven to have really good low light performance. Their menu system has improved greatly. Their autofocus is on point, and just the overall image quality and lens selection that you have with Sony cameras is, in my opinion, one of the best. And it shows that by the amount of people who have actually picked up Sony cameras, and specifically the Sony a7 IV. With the 33 megapixel sensor, it's gonna have super high quality stills. It shoots 4K up to 60 frames per second. It is that full frame, so you're gonna get that super nice, buttery, blurry background to go along with your photos and your videos. Also, one plug into your computer and you can be recording or live streaming via Zoom or YouTube. And it has a ton of other great features for those more advanced level creators. Now, who is this camera best for? I would say this is for anyone kind of looking to be in that pro-ish realm with their content creation. So maybe you've been creating content for a little while. Maybe you have some plans to create some courses, or you want to have a little bit more cinematic and more storytelling and narrative type of work on your channel or on your platforms. This camera can really serve as a workhorse for all types of content. I use the Sony a7 IV almost every single day. I've spent tons of hours in the video and photo department using this camera, and I've loved every minute of it. It's super easy to use once you kind of get used to it, but the image quality and the results speak for themselves, and it's only going to continue to get better with time. And at this price point, there really isn't anything else that's competing with it. So when it comes to this camera, this is by far my favorite on the list. However, I would say I have to go with the Sony ZV-E10 as my favorite camera to recommend for people who are just getting started with content creation, or they're looking to step it up to the next level from their smartphone. Make sure you check out this video right here where I review my favorite wireless microphone system that you can pair with any of the cameras on this list or even your smartphone. Check it out. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time.